War like God. Oh, I thought we were still cheering for. Welcome to the Racing Dudes Live Tournament Challenge Show for April 29th with Aaron Haltman, Mike Somich. I am Magic, and boy, just a few minutes ago, guys, Warlike Goddess, they tried as hard as they could to stop her any way they could, and she said, "Get out of my way, I'm still a goddess." That was pretty great.
Even Joel tried to stop her. Her own jockey gave her probably the worst trip of the whole thing. He couldn't. Like she was pissed. Aaron and I were watching it together, and man, was she upset with Joel the entire first turn in that front stretch, man. It was pretty funny to watch.
I described it as wildly entertaining to watch a 1-5 shot romp. We were just dying. I wish we were recording during it because I was just like, look how mad this horse is. Like, it's like the horse understood the pace that was in front of her and understood what she had to do better than the jockey did.
Shockingly, Warlike Goddess has a better clock than Joel Rosario.
I just love watching world-class horses like that. It's just like she knew the whole race. Look, idiot, just let me go. Like, this horse is trash. I'll go beat this horse anytime you want to. And she wanted to do it, man. It was fun. It was a fun race. Obviously, much, much, much the best. But a horse that she looks loaded for another great year, guys. She was a lot of fun last year, and she's probably going to be a lot of fun this year.
Well, the Breeders' Cup, I think a big reason they brought her back is that the Breeders' Cup is at Keeneland this year, and she loves Keeneland like Rushing Fall loved Keeneland, so very exciting to see what she does. Mile and a half, I don't think is what they'll do it'll be a lot shorter than that at Keeneland for the Filly Mare Turf, but I don't think it matters. She's just really freaking good, so an exciting way to help us kick off the tournament show here. If you are joining us and you're not sure what we're talking about, we have the Racing Dudes Tournament Challenge every 2 weeks at racingdudes.com. If you're a premium member, you are invited to join this tournament. It's just $10 entry, and we had 21 entries, 20 different humans. Bree, I noticed, snuck in a second entry there, so I had our first double-up entry. But Mike, walk us through how the tournament's been going so far for everyone.
Oh, shitty. That's pretty much no. It's been an interesting one. We got a lot of short price winners, a couple big place prices that no one had. So it's a pretty bunched up field right now going into the final 5 races. Hit the refresh button right now. We should get the Warlike Goddess prices in here. But it's pretty much anyone's race here. If we get one price, that's really going to shake it up. $31 on top right now with Todd sitting in the lead. And then we've got a group here that's kind of bunched up there in the mid-20s from second down to fourth, which are all right there with any place or win money, and then another group down in those teens. So really, it's going to come down to who can pick a bigger price or get hot and string together a couple short prices here. We're going into the gate right now in the 9th at Tampa. This one is one where I thought you could hunt a price. I ended up using the 7, which is bet down from a 10-1 morning line to 9-2. Aaron, where'd you go here in Tampa's 9th?
I went with the 1, who is at 3-1 and would be very valuable to me right now because the only other horse or the only person that picked the 1 is the winner or the leader, I should say. So, we're 3-1. We could actually jump a lot of guys and get in, or girls, and get into like that 3rd or 4th spot with 3 races left. So this is a big race for me. I feel like.
There's a lot of people behind you who have the 1 as well would also be excited about that. Yeah, scroll down so you can see my name there. Appreciate it.
No problem. I was just going down to focus on the bottom 3 there. We got Dave, last week's winner, or last 2 weeks ago's winner, sitting down there right now.
That is Dave.
And then we got Doc and we got Jared down on the bottom. So they're all looking for the 5 here, as is Kevin Olson, trying to spring quite a bit up the leaderboard here. 5 is the most popular pick. 1 was second. So those are the horses that are the most covered here. 5 sitting on the board at 4-1 today.
Aaron, are you surprised that the 1's favored? I was a little not too surprised. I was between the 1 and the 4 on who would be favored here.
It's wide open, this race here. I thought it could go a few different ways. Yeah, I'm really not too surprised. I got a good name here, Thunder Buggy, and that got the play there to get him favored, I think, in the spot.
I thought this was a wide open race. I was between the 7 and the 9, who I thought both had a shot at a price. I kind of wish I had the 9 at a number now, but they're off here, and speed has been pretty good at the Tampa Turf Course. We got 4 horses. I'm not going to say lining up because I think they're going pretty slow, but 4 horses that went out for the lead. It looks like the 6 is going to clear the 5 and the 4 heading into the first turn here.
That was already off to a very Tampa start for this race. Hey, while this is, because this is a pretty low claimer level and they're going 2 turns, Mike, let me ask you about the Bewitched Stakes. Warlike Goddess wins it, and it was $450 is what she ends up paying for the tournament, and $220 is what Place paid. Was that because you knew Warlike Goddess was just going to take so much money and was a heavy favorite, like deservingly so? Was it kind of a good time to maybe take chalk there and just know that the Place probably isn't going to pay any better or any close to the win, or do you just take a wild shot?
It's funny. So in my mind, I think Family Way was probably the least usable horse there, just because Family Way was probably, I thought Family Way was going to be tough to win and had a decent shot at placing to get that $2 back. I was between using Warlike Goddess or using the 7 horse, who I ended up using, who I thought was going to be a huge price, underutilized in the tournament, and had a shot at taking him wire to wire, which I felt pretty good about heading into the top of the turn. But then by the end of the turn, you kind of knew that 7 wasn't going to hold on. But yeah, Warlike Goddess in that spot in a short field is a little bit more usable in tournaments than a couple other places. So I definitely wouldn't have minded using Warlike Goddess there. I know Aaron did end up using there, and you're able to pick up some coin there. And especially in this tightly bunched tournament, it's going to make a difference.
But Aaron, our jockey was standing up in the turn. That's how badly the one was dying. Sammy just goes, screw it, we're not winning.
I don't think anybody's going to get anything here. This looks like it's going to come in.
Oh,
maybe...
Mike, you're 9. You're 9 at a price. Boy, 9 and 6. Look at those payouts. You've got what, 18 to 1 over 12 to 1.
Wow. Nobody used any of those, either one of those horses.
That's the kind of I've had 2 of those place horses that paid $18, and now I had this one as an alternate as well. So this is it's my kind of day right now going in these tournaments.
Today has been weird. It's been very, very weird. So that
Manu, you're right there.
Yeah, I'm on it. Where's he at here?
We're at the bottom of the screen right there.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, well, that's
wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least Dr. Miranda's not winning this time, right? We can at least celebrate that.
Oh, we still got a couple left here. That is frustrating. Not gonna lie. Picked the wrong horse.
That just looked like a Tampa race too. I was watching that, and then nothing. Everybody like trading places halfway around and all over. Yeah, that was.
Well, I was watching our horse magic, and I'm like, this horse, he or she or whatever they are, what a trash horse this looks like. Holy cow! It was in a great spot, and then this was just like, no.
I think when she didn't get the lead, it was kind of in trouble. She was in trouble from there.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
All right, Mike, what's the next race for us here?
Keeneland 9th is going to be our next race here. So we got a little bit of time before we head over to Keeneland's 9th. Anything else you want to talk about on the Warlike Goddess front, guys?
Where do you think she'll run next? How about that? Where do you guys think she'll go after this? Churchill?
I was going to say Belmont.
Belmont?
She ran up in New York last year, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she ran Saratoga. She also was at Churchill, I believe. So, I don't know.
They'll keep her pretty well spaced out if they can.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her at Belmont, because then you're going to run into some of the Chad horses, and we get a nice barometer there to see how good she is. And I mean, obviously she'll be in graded stakes, so you're going to have pretty good horses either way. But I think the best the U.S. has to offer is going to be at Saratoga this summer from a Philly turf perspective.
Yep.
You've got the New York, the Grade 1 New York on June 10th. That gives her plenty of. That's 6 weeks to her next start. Boom, right there. $750K purse, 10 furlongs, Grade 1.
And you can jump right into early Saratoga and run twice there, and then go down.
We just map out her whole Breeders' Cup campaign right now.
Yeah, come on.
So she's going to the New York. Move that up. What's next after that? The Diana.
There you go.
Diana, July 16th. So, again, you got 6 weeks.
Yep. Love it. Then back at Keeneland to prep.
I was going to say, I think we take some. We'd probably skip the Ballston Spa. We don't need that. Or the Flower Bowl. Maybe the Flower Bowl. I don't know.
Yeah.
Take like a month and a half off. Go Flower Bowl, Keeneland, and then Breeders' Cup. There you go.
She's going to be tough. She's going to be tough to beat, no doubt. But listen, we got a Boulevard of Broken Dreams type of race, I think, in the 9th at Keeneland, don't we? Somich.
Is that just because Dennis's moment's in it?
Yeah.
It's just automatic Boulevard of Broken Dreams qualifier race.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's talk a little bit about Keeneland's 9th here. They're in the paddock for the race. We got about 9 minutes to post right now. They are showing Dennis's moment on the screen. This is a horse I've enjoyed fading for over a year. I'm fading him again here, as I would go 4 deep in a pick X. I did not use the 6. Magic, when you were capping this race, where'd you kind of kick it off? What are your thoughts here?
Well, like Aaron says, the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. But the nice thing is, I know a lot of these horses, and so I know to pass on Dennis's moment and not even. I didn't even really give him much of a glance at this spot. I just think if he's not in for a tag at this point, I don't know why I'd use it. Thanks to Aaron Halterman and the Oaklawn Park race of the day previews we've done, I actually know about Atoka, and Atoka was doing all right at Oaklawn at the optional claiming level, and then went up to the Great Stakes ranks and definitely got his ass beat. Is dropping back down to the optional claiming ranks. I think that because of the Oaklawn circuit, the older horses were doing well on the dirt. I know they haven't come over to Keeneland, at least from what you've been saying, Mike. They haven't been transferring to Keeneland very well, but it's the coach. I know I'm going to get a price. I like that Saez is riding. Saez picked up Secret Oath, the mount for that for the Kentucky Oaks. To me, I'm reading something into this. Maybe I'm reading way too much into it, but that's why I went with the 4 Atoka.
That was actually a very popular tournament horse. I'm on the 4 as well, as is Mark. We've got Kevin Olson on the 4. Brian is on the 4 as well. And then our leader right now, Todd, is on the 4 too. So very popular play, especially for the current 9-1 price. I thought Atoka was really interesting here. The buyers kind of all fit from just a setup perspective. And when you look through the last 2 races, look, we're coming out of the Whitmore and the Commonwealth. Slightly aggressive placements by the coach there, right? So it's a little bit. We're going from legit races to a Boulevard of Broken Dreams type race. The drop in class is probably what needed, and I think the 9-1 price is a decent number here on the 4. Aaron, did you consider the 4 at all before chalking out here, or or was that never even a question?
No, I certainly have the 4. I think I put him in the 3rd on the sheets today. And yeah, it's just it's a typical coach horse. You get these horses that have muddied up form because he tries them way too tough, and then they drop down to a level where they belong, but their form's so muddy, people are like, yeah, I can't. I'm not picking that horse. He was 9th and 8th in the last 2 races, but yeah, it was against much tougher horses. Also have to look with Lucas, and I taught Magic this over the winter at Oaklawn. You got to look at who the jockey is. The jockey tells you if Lucas thinks the horse has a shot, and Luis Saez is aboard. Well, that's a very good sign. So yeah, I think he's got a shot. Probably we're going to regret not using him, especially now. I thought he would get back down, and he's not. I mean, he's still at a decent price there. For me, I'm a huge time form guy, and if you believe the time form numbers, which, like I said, I'm a huge time form guy, and I do, the 7 really stood out in this situation today. The race 2 back from a time form standpoint is much, much better than anything we've seen or anything we've seen from these horses in this race. And then last time out, they tried to move the horse up to grade 2 company there, and Cezanne, he wasn't going to beat that horse. So from a time form standpoint, the 7 makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I actually had the 7 on top, and I considered singling in the pick 6. So I don't blame you for the pick on the 7. I just went a different direction because of the tournament side, trying to go a little price hunting a little bit more. But Canadian Pride makes a ton of sense. And California horses have been doing very well at Keeneland this meet. Kind of happy this meet is over. Excited for Belmont. Seeing the ball a little bit better there. And Keeneland's been really hit or miss, but they've been crushing here. I mean, I remember Bayerano won in a 5-1 shot the other day. O'Neill seems like everything he sends out there is live right now. So you'd expect that this horse coming in from California, you mentioned that race 2 back, that was very good. You got a couple other 6 furlong efforts that are very good. I did think there's a ton of pace in here. Do you think that's going to be any type of an issue, breaking from the 7 post and having a couple horses inside with some speed as well?
The key is definitely going to be, can we sit off of it a little bit? I think since you're drawn outside all the other speed, maybe, he kind of gets a trip that he did 2 back, like we're going to mention again, kind of maybe sitting second, a length off of the speed. Knee deep in snow, the 5, and that's another horse Magic and I've talked about a lot through the months at Oaklawn when we do those previews. We got him right at Oaklawn back in January, but he's another one. He's dropping in class, but God, he's been terrible out of the gate the last 2 times. So it's like, do we trust that he's going to get out there? It's a question mark. I think Atoka and Luis Saez, I think the instructions will be to send there. So you got to think the 4 or the 5 are going to be the ones that could kind of screw up the 7. If all 3 of them go out there, then maybe we could see something real goofy, and maybe it sets up for the 1 Surveillance. That's another horse I thought about using in the spot as well.
I was wondering if you're going to say it sets up for the 6 Dennis's moment. I didn't know if you were going to go there. I was hoping you would. But
if he wins, it's just
from
whatever.
Pacing up down here.
Yeah, it's just like I'll never be able to play him ever again. So.
Yeah, I don't. What I mean, is there a price you could play Dennis's Moment at? I know Aaron said no, so I guess Mike, this is for you. Is there a price you would play Dennis's Moment in this race?
I mean, the messed up thing is he would have to go back to his Ellis race where he broke his maiden to be competitive in this field. Let me repeat that. He'd have to go back to his Ellis race where he broke his maiden to be competitive in a N3X allowance field. It's like and that's a while ago. That's the problem. That's the best race he's run of his career. Never been able to replicate that. We're going 6 furlongs today, or 6.5 furlongs today. I'm sorry, which is one of the shorter distances we've seen him go. Probably a little shorter than this horse wants. It feels like this is a race that he kind of needs. This is first off a layoff. It's Romans. You get Lannery. I would probably need something in the 10 to 15 to 1 range to think about playing this horse, which is wild. But there's some decent horses in here. I agree the 5 is dangerous. I think the 5 is 100% sending. I think that's the only way he wins the race. I think the 4 is probably going to sit behind the 5 and the 7. And I think all 3 of those horses have a significantly better chance of winning than Dennis's Moment.
You know, the last time Dennis's Moment won, it was here at Keeneland. I remember that race vividly because I told you guys, I even texted you guys that day. I said he might win today because this field he's facing is horrific. You know, now that's the thing. You're like, well, he won an allowance at Keeneland the last time he was here. Yes, but this is a completely different field.
Yeah, as the favorite too. I mean, that's part of the key, right? He's never won as not being the favorite.
Right. Correct. And again, for Dennis's Moment to be the favorite in allowance at Keeneland, it tells you how bad that field really was.
Yep.
And I just looked back at the rest of that field. Combined 15 starts for everybody else out of that and 2 wins.
And I would like to congratulate Andrew right now, who has Dennis's Moment and would move into the lead with a win here. So congratulations on the W there, because we're talking Dennis's Moment right into the winner's circle right now. About a minute to post here. The 7 horses floated up from 8 to 5. So tournament aside, 8 to 5. Is that a fair price here on Canadian Pride, Aaron?
Yeah, from how I look at a race, yes, absolutely. He's got a great jockey. You talked about Californian horses doing so well, and he's got a significant advantage to me from a speed figure standpoint. I really believe if he comes out and he replicates that race 2 back, or even if he runs, you know, like he did last time out, I don't think they'll beat him. I think Knee Deep in Snow is a nice little horse, but I don't think he's as talented as the 7, and I just don't have confidence in the coach winning this race, and I'm really just not scared of anybody else. So I think if he can replicate that race 2 back, 8 to 5 is a fair price on the 7 here.
I'm actually surprised the horse is floating up. I expected that he'd be getting bet down from the kind of the 7 to 5 number. I'm a little interested in 8 to 5 personally. I think that's not a bad price at all to bet. And there's some interesting double plays here too. I know I like the 6 and the last as a wire to wire threat. So playing the 7-6 double isn't terrible right now. You're getting a decent price there, going 7-6. So I think this is a decent betting race if you do like the 7 horse here, because I think the value is there.
Yeah, he looks. I mean, I'm really shocked as well. He looks good on paper. He looks good on the track. He's got a great jockey. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Flavian Pratt was able to win. Oh gosh, can't think of that horse's name that won on debut for Urton at Santa Anita. Everybody thought he was so great, and then he ran an allowance. He hadn't won since, and he won it at Keeneland. That was Sunday, the Sunday after the Bluegrass. Can't think of that horse's name.
Shoot or no?
No, God damn it.
Who's the 9 horse?
Something Dreamin'? I don't know.
Oh, Dream Shake.
Dream Shake. Yes, Dream Shake.
I'll get there. Don't worry.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to get Dream Shake home. This horse, to me, is better than Dream Shake. So,
well, Urton's also, it's interesting that he's here because he's normally just stays in California, but he's had 3 starters, and Pratt's ridden 2 of them, and that's the winner, Dream Shake, that you talked about, and then he got 3rd in the Double Dog Dare with Lady Mystify. So he's got, the 2 of the 3 horses have either hit the board or 1 that he's sent, and Pratt's ridden those 2, and Pratt's on this one. It just sucks about the price. Tournament, specifically for the purposes of the tournament, I'm like, shit. I gotta hope that I gotta hope the 4 gets second to the 7 because I think the 7's gonna win.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's one thing if you're shipping horses from Santa Anita to Del Mar, right? It's a completely different thing if you're shipping horses from Santa Anita or Del Mar all the way out to Keeneland. You really expect them to run well if you're going to do that, especially if you're only shipping a couple. So when Urton's only shipping 3 or 4 out for a meet, you'd expect that he thinks they're all firing. So I would be surprised if you don't see a pretty good effort here from the 7. Ticked down to 3-2 for a minute, then dropped a little further. We're sitting at 7-5 right now. The 4 is drifting up to 11-1, so it's a nice price there. 5 horse currently second choice at 3-1. Did you guys have any big time leans in the last double wise? If you wanted to pair this 7 up with anybody?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the 6. I used the 6 in the tournament, and I like the 6 coming into the race here in the last at Keeneland. Durante, or this is another California horse dropping out of a stakes race. I think the stretch out is really going to be nice. Ran a mile last time out, going up to a mile and 3/16 here. I like the 6 in the last a little bit. And I think, to me, the biggest thing is, and we talked about it, Warlike Goddess may have caught the speed, but speed has been good all day. And this horse has a lot of it.
It's good yesterday, too. 2 wire-to-wire winners over the turf. I agree with you. I'm on the 6, too. I just punched a 7-6 double because it's 13-1 right now, which I think is a very good price for that double.
Yeah, I agree.
You're going to think I'm crazy. I really like the 10. Spin wheel in the last. I call it spin oak because I get spin wheel and high oak confused because that's who Dan and Michael wanted to draft. But they always draft one horse that turns out to be really good, just not on the Derby trail. Usually a turf horse. I was like, Dan, that's a turf horse. You just drafted a turf horse. It'd be really good. The Dam was grade 3 placed. I got second in the Jessamine at Keeneland. This horse has only tried turf once and really not given another chance to try and do it because he broke his maiden in an off-turf dirt race. So I think that the family is very heavy on the turf, especially as a half-brother to Moon Over Miami. Remember him with Belmont? Was a stakes winner. So I don't know. I think he's sneaky. I think I'm going to get a good price because nobody's going to look at that form and think, oh, a spin wheel, he's going to be good on turf.
I think you're going to be surprised by the price. The double's paying 27 right now, so just twice the price of the 6 versus that 12-1 morning. I had the 10 as my second pick in that race on the bomb. So I think you're onto something. I think the 10's awfully live. Leparoux's going to have to make a trip out because there's not a ton of pace in there, but I think the distance and the switch to the turf are beneficial for the 10.
He's been bad though.
Well, yeah,
he hasn't been on turf.
Yeah, but he's been really bad. So we'll see.
I double checked the double price when Magic was talking about him because I did have him there in the second pick. The 27-1 just wasn't with the 7-10 double. It just wasn't entertaining enough for me from a price perspective. So decided to pass there. We're walking into the gate here. 4 horse just went in, sitting on the board at 13-1. That's the horse that could flip the tournament standings the most here. We'll share the tournament standings so everyone knows who everyone's got here, headed into the third to last. Todd is going to be rooting for the 4, as is Brian. That would jump him way up the leaderboard. Brian Larson sitting there with the 2, trying to take over the lead. Brett has the 7. That would vault him into the lead with the 7. And Andrew's looking for Dennis's moment. That would also vault him into the lead. So lots still yet to be decided here with 3 races left.
Brian's got the 2 here at 29-1. Has Spin Wheel, who's 12-1 on the morning line the next. If the 2 wins, Brian might have this locked up. That's a 29-1. That's a pretty nice number there.
I think it's over.
Dave's sitting at the bottom with the 2 as well, but the only 2 with the 2 are Dave and Brian. Even place money would be huge for Brian here, just because I have a feeling that's going to be a big time place.
Off we go.
Let's see who goes here.
Nobody.
Oh, yeah, the 7's not really going. He's just the fastest.
Yeah. They're not sending.
I mean, Pratt's holding him pretty good. I'd say they're working the 5 over a little bit more than the 7, and it looks like the 7 could clear if Pratt wants to. He just took a peek inside to see what was going on.
He wants the 5 to go up there.
Pratt just kind of let him go a little bit there.
It's like the exercise rider facing Taba. Like, hurry up, come on, do your job.
So 5 is going to take him into the turn into the lead here. The 7 sitting in second. The 2 and the 4 are in chase mode here in third and fourth. Feels like a 1-horse race, maybe 2 horses heading into the turn here.
Yeah, we'll see if the 5's got anything. The 7, I mean, if he loses from here, it's just like, you throw your hands up a little bit. Atoka's running a little bit behind him in third, but he's already under the whip.
Was that the 6 on the outside of the 4 there? I think that's your runner-up is the 6. If the 5 doesn't.
The 5's not coming back.
Whoa. 5's not coming back. And now you got to wonder why Pratt didn't just take the lead.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know if it would have mattered because I don't think Pratt's getting second.
So Michael Collins is the only one with the 5.
Wow. 5-6. Dennis
5. Hey, I was right about the runner-up.
Yep. Dennis's moment jumps up, and that's enough to get Andrew into the lead, most likely.
And Michael Collins probably
about 3-1. right? So that takes him to 21. He's going to probably be sitting around $25. I would say Andrew's getting $5 for that. So he's going to be sitting around 32 and have a slight lead heading into the last two races here.
It's crazy, Somich. We were talking. It's just like, man, it's just wildly frustrating. And this is like, the 7 looked great in this race and just doesn't run. And that's kind of how I've been today. It's just like, God, they're in good spots. They just don't run. And that's when you have a really frustrating day.
That's when that one's tough too, because Pratt clearly broke better on the 7, has the chance to cross over, doesn't do it, lets the horse come inside, then looks loaded around the turn. And you have California horses who are performing well versus Oakland horses who aren't. The other Oakland horse does terrible, right? This one decides to just keep running on with it. And it's just one of those where you're just like, all right, I would still, from a cash perspective, take the 7 or the 5 at 8-5 and 5-2. And you look at it and you're just like, all right, well, what can you do? Because it looked like the 7 was a winner on the turn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just, I can't believe that.
Shit, top of the stretch, I said, I think the 6 is going to be runner-up if the 5 quits hard enough. And then right when I said that is when the 5 suddenly took back off.
Well, both of those 7
horses, off the board.
Yeah, both those horses, the 5 and the 7, were dropping out of stakes. And, knee deep in snow has been in some tough ones. And, facing Greeley and Ben, and then a tough race at Oakland last time. I think Greeley and Ben was in there again, actually, with a couple other good horses. So it makes sense that he ran better, and he broke. He finally got out of the gate and got position. That's just something. He had 2 terrible trips in a row. So not a shock that he won, but a shock that he won with the setup that was, happening in front of our eyes there.
Yeah, it's the first time in 3 races he hasn't had to go 21 and change to make the lead, too. I mean, if you look at it that way, when 21-3 in the Stars and Stripes at Sam Houston, and then goes 21-4 there at Oakland Park in the Whitmore, obviously gets a much easier first quarter here. But going to those 6.5, I'm kind of surprised was able to keep it together.
Yeah, me too.
Wow, so I bet that's the last time we get 7-1 on Dennis's moment for a while.
Now the horse is going to start to get that again.
If you wanted to play him, we don't fucking want to play him, but
it's pretty crazy. We only had one person that used the 5 in that. That's unreal. We have 2 people that have cashed out of the last 2 races. One was a win and one was a place. That's incredible.
Not spectacular. Although Tampa Bay did go full Tampa, right? You had 18-1 over 12-1.
Right.
So we'll and I know at least 2 people had it alts because I got texts about it too. So I know that I was not the only one with that 9 as an alt. So that could have blown this whole thing up. But yeah, that race. I mean, the thing is the 5 is not. It's tough to use the 5 there at 5-2, and so I think that's why you're not seeing that horse used as much. You're seeing people take shots or take the chalk, and so that's kind of what you see. A lot of 7s, a lot of 4s. I think that was the most logical horse in the 7. I think it was the most logical long shot in the 4.
Yep. No, I think that's well said. Yeah, you're right. Because if you're going to play a 5-2, you better be thinking, man, this horse is going to win, and it's no problem.
Yep.
That was not what that looked like on paper. Certainly what it looked like down the stretch. There was no doubt the 5 was going to just gallop away from there. So, yeah, I'm refreshing the screen here to see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, though, Andrew's going to be on top.
Yeah, there's no way with the 7 running out, the 6 is going to get at least $5 to show, I bet. So you're going to see him pop up there. I'll refresh here again, see if we can get the update. Nope, still waiting on prices from Keeneland. They have one of the slower totes in the world.
Yes. I think somebody's punching it in on the scoreboard.
Hopefully they're punching in the right numbers.
Right, yes. It's a manual change, that they're having to do over there. It takes forever to get paid at Keeneland. I totally agree.
It's like Wrigley Field scoreboard, right?
Yes.
Where they're changing the numbers up there.
Yep.
One tile at a time.
Absolutely.
They're about to walk in the gate at Belmont. This was my single of the day. I loved the 1 horse in this spot. I actually like 8-5. I don't think that's a terrible price at all here. It's a Dylan Davis horse, second off the layoff, moving up in class a little bit, but I think it just towers over this field. Did you like this race, Aaron, at all?
Let's see if we can get 2 in a row beat where we thought we had a horse that couldn't lose. We got the 7 beat at Keeneland. I'm with you. I singled the 1 and everything. So
I think 8 to 5 is a crazy price. I thought this horse should be closer to 4 to 5.
I thought the horse could win by 3 or 4 lengths. That's how much I liked him. So again, we'll probably turn for home looking like we're going to win and stop if it goes like it did the last time. But I'm with you. I love this one horse.
We're sitting at 3 to 2 now on the board, but yeah, this was one of those that I thought was just a standout over the field.
We have to love that it's an open N2 eggs, but she's New York bred, so she's 6 for 24 lifetime with 7 runner-ups. Like she's gonna come in here and should just smack them around.
She should.
The 2 has some speed, but the 1 and the 2 are really the fastest 2 horses here. So I'd expect. Well, and I say that, and now
they're like the last 6, 2 out of the gate.
5 in the 6th break, and the 6 is going to take it right to him here. So we'll see how the trip works out. But I mean, I expected the 1 to be sitting behind the 2, but we're going to sit behind the 6 here instead.
The 1's fine though. You got a good spot.
The 6 chose not to cover the rail, which is.
I was watching that closely. I was like, is that 6 hanging out there? Yep.
I got to say, one of the things that pisses me off the most is when jockeys do not take the rail when they cross.
Yeah.
Because it really bothers me when they let someone sneak inside of them. And now the 6 probably took the rail here later on the turn. But it's just one of those situations you're like, what are you doing? Like, make it harder on the horses behind you.
We're riding this 1 pretty patiently here, but.
Yeah, Dylan thinks he's loaded.
Well, it's Belmont. Remember, we're still like 3/4 of a mile away from.
Yeah,
the
that's a good
line.
point. Such a long turn. You get used to watching races at Aqueduct, and it's wildly different here.
Yeah, come on, Dylan,
get her out. So that's good.
Get her out, Dylan.
Got to go 3 wide outside of this 5, and it's going to be tough to catch this 6 because of this trip now.
Come on, Dylan, what are you doing?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
She didn't run very well either.
No, she did not. I think that her chance to run was in the turn, and he kind of was on heels and then just angled out and never was able to get it rolling after that.
Man. Today needs to get over with. Today's one of those days you go back and look, and it's like I don't think I would have made anything different, like made a different decision, Good Lord.
What can you do?
The bitch about it on YouTube.
There you go. All right, so we're next tournament race here is going to be Keeneland. Just updated the leaderboard, and as we expected, Andrew takes over that first spot there, sitting with 33.70. So actually got a pretty good place price there, picking up $6.40 on Dennis's Moment. Able to jump up into the lead. You got Brian Larson. You got Michael Collins here, who is the one with the 5, picking up $12.40 there with the 5 horse to be able to make a little bit of a move. Getting into it now, just have 2 races left in the tournament. You can start to see a couple people getting blocked. Aaron Halterman, Davey's got you covered here. Can't get by him. Both playing the 6-11. So, Aaron, your dreams are just they're blown up. You're not going to win today. It's not going to happen.
I can't get a win anyway, so it doesn't matter. The joke's on Davey if he's got the same horses as me going into the last 2 races.
I will say it's nice that after the first 2 were won by company folks, I don't know that I'm that nervous about any of us coming up. I'm covered by Brian Larson on the 10 here in the next, so there's my shot.
I think I need to go. I need to hit the daily double here to win. So I would need 6-4 cold to be able to get the job done. The 1, I think Jared's probably covered. 1-4 probably won't get him to the winner's circle since there's a bunch of people with the 4, and Miranda's sitting here with the 8-2. Miranda could do it. She's got unique horses in both spots. So Miranda's the one who's got the shot there from the dudes team. I'd say, Andrew's in a pretty good spot here with having the 10 covered in the last, and it's got Brett covered with the 9 here in the second to last, and then Todd on the 1 and the 5, both live horses as well. So still pretty interesting. And everyone is within, first is within, or 12th is within $20 of first too. So it just really takes one race to flip this leaderboard a little bit.
Well, the thing is, if Davey hits the daily double, then I will hit it as well, and we're going to run 1-2. So it's still, like you said, it's anybody's game at this point because the 11 is 12-1 in the last race at Belmont.
Well, and Magic, catch this. The 10 is the favorite here at Keeneland right now. 4-1 on the 10 horse as your favorite with 20 minutes to post. The 6 horse sitting at 7-1. I kind of love the value on the 6 at 7-1, but Magic just playing the chalk. What do you think about that?
I learned from the best. Just go straight for that. Straight for the chalk. Jesus, 4-1. You're right. I'm like, Did not expect that.
I
thought
don't
maybe 8-10 to 1. No.
I don't think 4 to 1 is actually going to be the off price. If we meander over and take a peek at the doubles, the 7 horse is your favorite in the doubles. It's at $27. So I'd expect the 7 horse is going to end up going off as the favorite. The 1 and the 6 are both sitting at 33 and 34 respectively. And then the 9 and the 10 are both at 39. So you're going to have a pretty bunched up board. It seems like a really good betting race. I bet your favorite's going to go off somewhere between 7 to 2, 3 to 1 range.
I get the angles on spin wheel, but I just think you've got to be kind of nutty to play this horse at that price.
At that price, yes. 4 to 1.
Yeah.
Man, Vicky just mentioned the pick 5 will pays. They are not great. Kind of surprised. The 1 is the favorite in the pick 5 will pays. $196 returning for it. I expected that to be a little bit bigger. I mean, especially you beat the favorite in the first leg.
Warlike Goddess.
The second leg, yeah, I beat the favorite. Third leg, Warlike Goddess obviously crushes the price. Beat the favorite in the fourth leg, though. So 3 beaten favorites in Warlike Goddess, and still only $196. So that's not wonderful.
No.
That's a nice comment, Ashley Gordon. That's a very nice comment. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
We're enjoying you being part of our lives as well. I love you. Love all the comments on the different shows, so we appreciate it.
I talk about all of our commenters all the time.
It's true.
Some good, some
If you
bad.
want to find out who he likes and doesn't like, let us know in the chat.
Yeah. Make a YouTube video. Top 5 commenters, Aaron.
Top 5
If it'll get
commenters.
clicks, I'll do it.
Top 5 commenters I never want to see in the chat again. There you go.
Yeah. Was the 9 the favorite in the pick 5? Let me double check that. Did I get that wrong? Yeah, you're right. The 9 is the favorite in the pick 5. So completely different horse is the favorite in the pick 5. $173. So it is a kind of wild last race, or 10th race at Keeneland. It's going to be pretty spread out. It's also the final race of the meet, so this pick 6 has to go. There's a super high 5. Is there a carryover in super high 5? Is that something we should be betting? Let's see here. Anybody?
I have no idea.
Oh, you're killing me, Aaron. Come on, you're supposed to know these things. Now you're making
I've never bet a super high 5.
Same.
Really?
I don't like that at all. No.
Man. Guys are making me feel like a degenerate over here.
I'd rather manscape with a cheese grater and lemon juice, like Manu said.
Oh, Lexi, you're welcome. Thank you for listening. Yes, she said, I guess that, yeah, Lexi would be a she. Says, yes, there is a carryover.
Nice. I love it. Okay. We got to talk a little super high 5 then, because this is going to be a really good betting race from a super high 5 perspective.
Absolutely.
Now, I actually thought this was really competitive. So where should we start here? I guess let's start with the 6. Aaron, you made the case. I kind of agree with you. I think this is going to be your speed of the speed coming out of a tough race at Santa Anita. So I think the 6 has got to be dangerous. And if you look at who he faced too, you got Slowdown Andy and Messier 2 back over Los Alamitos. That is not an easy couple horses to face, especially when you want to be on the lead.
No, absolutely. And that's the deal. I mean, this horse just, to me, 7 to 1 is like crazy. But like I said, he's faced better horses. He's looks like he's going to be on the lead. I think the stretch out, according to his pedigree, shouldn't be any trouble. So 6 makes a lot of sense. I think the 7 right to the outside makes sense as well. And honestly, 9 to 2 isn't a bad price on the 7. This horse won a maiden special weight going a mile and an eighth at Gulfstream. Tyler Gaffleon stays aboard today. He's riding well. I think the 7 is the other one that makes a ton of sense. I also like the 8. So 6, 7, 8 were my top 3. A horse broke the maiden at Fairgrounds. Fairground runners have not been doing too bad here. And you like that he got some experience against winners last time out. He did get beat by 5 1/4, but didn't really get out of the gate all that well. I think with a little bit better break, a little bit better position, the 8 is also very competitive. So that's a 7 to 1, a 9 to 2, and a 7 to 1 right now on the board.
I don't disagree with you on the 7. I did not have the 8, but I understand why you would. I felt like the 8 made you kind of bring the 2 into play since they ran really close to each other last time. And I had no interest in the 2, so that's kind of why I veered away from the 8 specifically. What about the 9? Do you see who ran 3rd in the 9's last race?
Yeah.
Coinage.
Yeah.
Coinage has been okay. Multiple stakes winner coming out of that race. Grand Sonata is pretty good. 2-back Red Danger beat Speaking Scout by a head. That was a tough race as well. The pulpit down there. Grand Motion gelds this horse, takes a little bit of time off, and now we're coming back here. I think that the 9's Speaking Scout could sit a really nice trip too. Been more forwardly placed than a lot of horses in this spot. we have the 6, so I think is going to be pretty solo up front. I think that 9 is going to be sitting fairly close and could kind of get first run on the 6. So I think the 9's awfully interesting as well. And we touched on the 10. What about the 3 horse? Any interest in the 3 horse at all?
I did not have the 3 horse included. I did put the 9 in 4th. A quick thing about the 9, I always I openly root for Mr. Speaker horses because my friend, Aaron West, that used to be his job, taking care of a Mr. Speaker at Lane's End. So I always have a connection with that horse. We went and pet him one day. It was
very cool.
Fun. So yes, I do like the 9. The 3, it's interesting because these guys, Clement, Brown, the quote unquote real turf trainers at Gulfstream, they prepped a lot of horses over that synthetic with the idea of let's get them a race over the synthetic and then we'll move them to the turf. Sneaky horse. The race did not come back fast whatsoever. But if you believe, hey, this is a prep, we've gelded the horse, we get Rosario aboard, that's Clement's go-to guy. The 3 makes sense. I did not put that horse in the top 4 for me personally, but there are signs that the horse is going to run a much faster race today than he did on debut.
Yeah, I had the 3 as my 5th horse, and since we're talking super high 5, I thought I had to at least bring it up there. And you're dead on. Like Clement and Brown specifically seem to be starting horses out that they really like on turf on the synthetic down there because they weren't a big fan of how the turf was playing toward speed at Gulfstream, and the synthetic was playing toward closers. So it helps their running styles. You don't often see Brown horses wire a field. You don't often see Clement horses wire a field. So they were out on the surface that they thought their horses kind of fit better with. So, I mean, we talked about this in the Magic Mike show quite a bit. If you're looking for Brown horses at Gulfstream, look for the ones coming out of synth as better horses than the ones that are coming out of turf races. It's interesting to kind of see this one in here. The time wasn't great, but the come-home time was pretty good. They ran sub-6 to close the race after running a 25-second opening quarter, 48-second half. So the come-home time was pretty good. The buyer came back pretty weak, but Rosario's interested enough to pick up the mount. That's kind of what made me a little interested. And I think that horse could probably fit in that 5th or 4th spot. I think, look, the 8 you mentioned and the 2 are also horses that are probably going to be trying to close some ground late that could make sense for those underneath spots as well. Yeah,
I mean, the 2 is interesting. Second time turfer. I know you don't like Asmussen on the turf, but the horse didn't run too bad. Kind of was one I think they thought was going to be decent. They tried him in some stakes, didn't work out.
Yep.
Just needs to get better positioning. And I don't know if he just might not be capable of doing so, but this horse could just get a little bit better position out of the gate. He'd have a shot. I don't know. Magic, you're back. Let's talk about spin wheel a little bit more. Now at 9-2, I mean, I'll kick to you. Like, what kind of price, if you're betting this horse to just say to win, what kind of price were you wanting to have on spin wheel?
Honestly, double digits are close too, because you've got a horse that is not proven on the turf and it has the breeding for it, but is also facing a lot of horses, not all, but a lot of horses who have won on turf or come very close to doing so. So that combined with the post being out in post 10, I was looking for something close to the 12-1 morning line. Like I saw that and I was like, that's how I know this is my tournament horse. Boom, 12-1. That's right where I want it to be. Yeah, not 9-2. Don't like that.
Let me ask you, if this was a live tournament right now, who would you play?
If this was a live tournament,
yeah.
Were you asking me specifically, or were you throwing that to both?
You. I'll ask you, and then Mike, he can answer as well. But
oh boy,
because your pick's going to change, so I'm guessing.
Right.
So, yeah.
I also think it's funny that not 5-1, but 5-1 is that's the price. That's the favorite. You know what? The Brendan Walsh horse, 8 Verstappen. Second off the layoff, second time at 3, second off bench, Son of Warfront. Brendan Walsh is 21% second off the layoffs like this. And I love Brian Hernandez Jr. as a rider. They don't usually do well together, but their one win together in the last year and a half did come with this horse at the fairgrounds. The distance should be well within this horse's grasp. You saw Brendan Walsh went 1.16 to 1.8 to break the maiden. Now we're going 1.16 to 3/16, so a little bit farther than 1.8 in the second start. So I like that progression, and at that price, at 7-1, I feel like that's a very fair tournament play.
If I was in the position I'm currently in our tournament, I would play the 2. I would take a big shot at 25-1 shot because I've got to pass 10 people to get to the top, and I'm a little further back, and I have a feeling like Look, I like the 6. If I was like in first and you asked me this question, I'd probably play the 6 or the 9. Those would be the two that I'd be deciding between at these prices. But the two where I'm sitting in mid-pack would be the horse I would use because I need the money to get up there. And let's be honest, if this is a live tournament, the 6 and the 9 are both going to be covered in front of me. So I can't make up a ton of ground when I'm looking at it from that direction. So I would have to kind of be like, okay, I need to be a little contrarian here because we've got 2 races left. I need to make up some space. And yes, I'm only back in this case $20. But if I play the 6 or the 9, I would expect at least 2 people in front of me to have it. So best case scenario with a win, assuming no one gets place money, I'm probably sitting in third. So I would be taking a bigger shot from my position right now. I agree with that comment too. I think if you like the 8, you kind of have to love the 2 because you're getting 25-1 versus 7-1. And they were a head apart. And as you made the case there, I mean, this is a $750,000 son of gun runner. Yeah, I don't love Asmussen on turf, but if I'm like looking at those 2 horses in a vacuum at those prices, I like the 2 a lot more than the 8.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Xavier Dave was my pick in an earlier race. Was that at Tampa? Somewhere. Xavier Dave ran earlier, and Xavier Dave did not run well. And that's the horse that won at Fairgrounds. I forgot about that till just now. So I was like, why is that name familiar?
I think it was at Tampa.
Yeah.
I think it was the first race at Tampa.
Real quick, I think this is an interesting question from Ashley here. When do you guys really attack a race? What are conditions are needed for you to take a bigger than normal shot? Aaron, do you want to start with this one?
It's really simple for me. I won't get confusing or complicated or anything. When I think a horse is an easy winner, that's odds don't match it. That's all it is. So, for example, Knicks go 3-1 Breeders' Cup Classic. You have to attack, right? Even Life is Good at even money in the Pegasus attack. So if I think Life is Good is 2-5 to win the race and he's even money, that's when you attack. If I think Knicks go is 7-5 to win the race and he's 3-1, that's when you attack. That's the kind of thing. And then when you think of if a horse is even money to win and then they're 2-5, but you still think they're going to win, well, then that's not a time to attack because you're not, even though you think the horse is going to dominate, you're not getting the price that makes it worth it. So it's very simple. How strongly do you believe the horse is going to win? And then what are the odds?
Yeah, I would echo that from a win perspective. From a multi-race perspective, I really hammer sequences when I'm singling in a pick 5, 2 horses that aren't the favorite. So if I like 2 horses in the sequence that are not a favorite, I'm going to be pretty aggressive with it because that's how you really blow the thing up. I'll often, play a 50-cent ticket with some coverage in one of the 2 legs, and whichever one I like more singled. Play a $2 ticket with both singled and a $5 ticket with both singled. And if I can be right, it can pay a lot of money. The other example is, ironically, races like this one. You've got a pool that's carryover, $9,000. So the takeout is essentially a moot point here in the super high 5. And you have a wildly competitive race. Pretty much any opinion is valuable in this spot. And the ability to spread in a super high 5 like this isn't huge because you're covering 5 places. So it's easy to spend a lot of money real quick. And you have a very competitive race. I mean, you could make an argument for 4, 5, 6 horses on top. If you like someone in this spot and you can say, I'm going to put 1 horse on top in the super high 5, and then I'm going to put 2 or 3 in the second spot and then spread out a little bit more underneath there, let's say 4 or 5 in the third, fourth, and 5th spot, you can end up with a really profitable bet since the favorite in this race is going to be around 4-1. So ironically, big field, lukewarm favorite, carryover is a spot where I would also take a shot. So I'm probably going to play this super high 5 for a decent amount.
Aaron, you said it better than I could, so I don't have anything to add to what you said. You said it perfect. I mean, which is kind of fair because I did kind of learn that from you. So about going after, specifically when you were talking about the Life is Good and the Knicks Go examples from recent races.
Yeah, and I really, who kind of taught me that is John White, who is a massive gambler, and he was the first time I ever met him. He said, "There's nothing wrong with just playing winners and looking for prices that you think they shouldn't be." Because those opportunities pop up. If you're patient, you'll have more opportunities than you think like that. And boy, he was right, and that's, to me, that's the easiest way to make. You're not going to hit every one of them. I'm not sitting here saying I hit every one of them. That's the easiest way to stay in the black, in my opinion. And like I said, sometimes you miss them, but end of the day, you just have to look for horses that are bigger odds than what you think they should be, that you feel really strongly about, and then attack them from the win end.
Ironically, this race probably offers a pretty good value in that perspective. right? I mean, because the 10 is at 4-1, which I think, Aaron, you don't believe the 10 should be anywhere near 4-1 is the favorite right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting 7-1 on the 6. You're getting 8-1 on the 9. You're able to get some prices here on horses that I don't think should be anywhere near that price. I think the 6 horse should be between 3 and 4-1 in this spot. I think the 9 should probably be right around that same price as well. And you're getting almost double that on both of them right now. So this is a good race. If you have an opinion, drop a $20 win bet here. Drop a $10 win bet, whatever fits that kind of your betting structure and your budget. Yeah, this is a good race to drop a couple bucks to win because it is lukewarm, because you are getting some prices on some horses.
So the difference between this and the examples that I've made is you're getting the value. So that's part of it. But you don't, for me, I don't have just the strongest opinion ever that the 6 is going to win. So that's the difference, again, from like my budget. Like you guys have your own thing and you don't go outside your budget. But for me, like Knicks Go, that's like, $200 to win type of horse. Life is Good. That's like a $200-300 to win type of horse. With this one, it's more of like, for my budget, like a $40 to win. Or if he's 2-1, I probably pass it, but it's like, yeah, he's 6-1. I don't have a strong ass opinion, but man, the odds are just too good here. So if he stays around there, I can drop, $20 to $40 on this horse for sure.
Yeah. Magic, do you want to make the case for the 10 real quick here on the Steve side?
Yeah, the breeding, honestly, the big thing for me. The dam was second in the Jessamine at 2 years old at Keeneland. It's going 2 turns on turf. Is a 1/2-2 Moon Over Miami, who was on the Derby Trail, and then they moved him over to turf and became a stakes winner and multiple Grade Stakes place for Belmont. Actually was like that close to winning the Grade 1 Man Award last year. So the horse, the being by hard spun as well, you would think synthetic or turf would be perfectly fine for this horse. I don't understand this much love. I mean, I can't be the only person who looked at this, but there's a lot of good horses in this. I don't understand why this horse is getting that much steam, especially when the 9 was 4-1 on the morning line, is exiting back-to-back stakes races, almost won a stakes 2 back, and is not anywhere close to that same price.
I think you did hit the nail on the head there. And this horse was originally meant for grass. That debut race effort was on the grass, and then they kind of got the Triple Crown fever, and that's how he ended up over there. So I think that that's definitely the reason why you're going that direction. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what Super High 5 I was going to lock in here as you were talking there.
That's okay. Did we talk about the 7 Tallahatchie Bridge at all?
Yeah, we did when you were gone a
Okay.
little bit. I think the horse, like you said, has a pretty good shot here. Last time out, won pretty impressively, maiden special weight at Gulfstream. Really moved up from the first race to the second race. So yeah, I think if you like the 7, it's not a bad play at all. Gaffalione has been aboard all 3 times now, if you count this as the 3rd time. So definitely a player. I think on debut just kind of didn't get out of the gate very well. Kind of use that as an education. And last time out was able to get himself in a much, much better position and ran to it, got that win by over 2 lengths. So certainly I think the 7's got a big shot. I would not play a Super High 5 as Somich is constructing without the 7 horse in there somewhere.
We almost 2 minutes to post. 2 minutes to post here. This gap between the 9 and 10th, I don't know, that they screwed us with that. We're trying to keep this going without any races for 20 minutes.
Well, we got that one, and then we're going to go right over to Belmont afterwards. So I guess we got about 7 minutes to Belmont. Any quick Belmont thoughts? We'll have a couple minutes. Let's focus on Keeneland. All right, Aaron, give me your. Let's say you got a $24 budget for a Super High 5. What are you playing here? Means you probably have to. Here's the easy way: single with 4 underneath, and you can play it.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll single the 6 and put 7, 8. Let's see, 2, 7, 8, 9. Under
2, 7, 8, 9. Magic.
I'm not good for this. Don't ask me this one. I'm not going to be good for this at all.
Just play along, Magic.
6, 9, 3, 2, 1.
6, 9, 3, 2, 1. Okay, interesting. Doesn't use the 10. All right. I'm going to go 6, 9 over 6, 9.
Yeah.
Over 3, 7, 10.
Nice.
That's $12. You can bet it for $2 for 24. I think the 6 and the 9 are way overlays currently, each at 6-1 price. So those are the 2 that I would kind of focus on up top and see if you can get something done.
Hey, we're getting in the gate.
Hey,
that's good news. Let's see how the 6 can disappoint us here.
All right, so the 7's working on getting in there. And from a tournament perspective, the 9, the 1, the 10, the 7, the 11, the 6, the 8, and the 3 are all covered. So pretty much the 4 and the 5 are the only 2 horses that can get home here without someone being excited. And the 12, I guess.
All right.
Man, all right. 9 is for the first. Sorry, the 10 is officially not the favorite now.
Yep, 7 just took a little bit of late money there.
Into the game.
Down to 4-1 favorite. I'm shocked that the 6 and the 9 are sitting on the board at 7-1. The 9's the favorite in the pick 5. It's sitting on the board at 7-1, 5th choice right now.
And the 10 almost balked at going in the gate. That was.
This would be 5 points for Dan and Michael if the 10 can win here.
They still have him? Okay.
I think they do. Maybe they don't. I'm pretty sure they do. All right. 2 to left to load. This is it for Keeneland, folks. This is it.
Closing at 1 mile and 3/16. I got to say, I hate these long 3-turn grass races at Keeneland. I cannot wait for this shit to be over. Because the pace has just been an absolute train wreck. Give me like 1 mile and 16. The problem is Keeneland's track and like what races they can run on turf. But man, these 3-turn turf races are a mess from a pace perspective.
Well, there goes the 6, and the 9's right there with them. So,
and the 10 is dicking around at the rear. Awesome. I literally looked and I saw him doing this, trying to settle. I was like, okay, that's it. I forgot who drafted him in the fantasy league. My bad.
Oh man, that was great. Clip that and put that on something of ours.
I love it when you're dicking around at the rear and you're 3 wide on the first turn. That's awesome.
Well, if the 6 loses from here, it's just like, I mean.
What are you going to do? Yeah, no, look, this is the trip that you want from the 6's perspective. They're not going fast exactly. I mean, 24 and change, you're probably going to see a 49 plus 50, maybe half mile. Yeah, so it's I wouldn't mind if they ended the race if the 2 snuck up the 5th right now. I'm not going to lie.
The 6 is 7-1 and just ran a 49 half uncontested.
Well, and the 9 is 5-1, sitting right behind it, coming out of stakes races in a great spot. Like,
yeah.
And the 10, by the way, did go off as your 9.
I just saw that. I just saw the change.
Kick on.
This 8, looking like he's got some horse. The 6 hasn't even been asked a little bit yet, though.
Yeah.
Can we just let's go 6-9?
Kick on.
Come on, baby.
Go on.
Come on, run away from this 9.
You bastard. Come on.
Is that the 2 on the rail?
You
Come on,
what are they doing?
No, get out of here.
He's dicking around, Magic. That's all right. I can hit the try. Hold on, 7. Oh, my God.
The 6 is going to quit that bad?
9-7-4.
Wow.
I think I got the exact of it.
Wow. Man, that 4 gave the other Brad Cox Arrogate horse gets up off the turfway for him.
The 9 took a lot of late money because he was trading for a long time at 7-1. They're going almost in the gate at 7-1.
That's the kind of day it's been. It's like every race I think I'm going to win, and they don't run. Look at this 6. What's the matter with him?
Do you think there might be some sort of a objection or look because it looked like the 9 came down on the 6 a bit?
I would be surprised if they take a peek at it. There was some bumping between them, but I thought the 6 was the one that was causing the problem more than the 9 was.
Yeah, because the 6 was acting like an idiot the whole race.
I agree with you, Aaron. That's frustrating that the 6 doesn't even hold for third, too. Just completely quits on it.
Now, if the 9 wins and the 6 is second and it's close, it's like, yeah, I give it to you because I liked the 9 and the 9 was right there. But for the 6 just to act like a dick. Yeah. By the way, the 10 sucks.
The 10 was moving late.
The 10 is shit. Don't ever play that horse again, anybody that's watching.
I have a little interest coming back if we get a decent price next time. Because that was a... I've got questions about what Gaffalione was doing there. Why are we sitting in the back of the pack 3 wide, 4 wide in the 2 turns? Like, it's not exactly what you want to be doing. And as Ashley said, flying late. Come on.
Get out of here. He's always going to be flying late. It's easy to fly late when you don't do anything early in the race.
The thing is if that horse was 12-1, you wouldn't be just as disparaging as you are that horse at 9-2.
Well, you're right about that. Yeah.
Yes. So the 9 gets home. That is going to really help out Andrew. He's going to spring all the way up. Michael Collins sneaks up to second here, I'm guessing. So he is going to move up quite a bit as well and jump into the second spot. Ken Falk down here has the 9 as well, but he's blocked with the 7, so Michael's got the 7 there. I'm guessing it's probably going to be a 2-horse race unless we get a big-time price home here in the last. They're heading over to the turf course right now at Belmont. They just posted the results at Keeneland officially. 9, 7, 4, 6, 8. You know, that 4 really pissing me off because every other horse we talked about was right there. I think the 2 actually finished 6th too. So if we could get rid of that 4, it would be a happy ending to this disastrous Keeneland day. But anyway, let's head over to Belmont. We were at the starting gate there. Aaron, where'd you end up on top here?
I hope the 4 at Keeneland that finished 3rd has a terrible night. I hope nothing but bad things for the 4. Here, I ended up at the 11. So I'm sure this horse will look like a winner and lose. You know, I just thought this race was completely wide open. And I just thought coming off of a freshening, getting back to the 6 furlong distance, drawn outside, I feel good about this horse getting a nice stocking trip here, going one turn and having a shot at a decent price.
Yeah, I liked the 4 and the 5 here. The 1, 10, and 11 were the other horses I used. I went pretty deep here, multi-race speaking, but I thought the 4 and the 5 were the 2 horses to beat. I ended up going with the 4, sitting at 8 to 1 right now, which I think is actually a pretty darn good price on the 4 here, trying to close out Belmont.
I'm with you on the 4, and that would put Breeze got the 4, so that wouldn't help you and I. But as far as winning goes, but I don't know about you, Mike. I like the fact that the 4 it might be a career maiden, but the fact the horse has only been in for a tag now for the 3rd time. The first time in for a tag is when the trainer claimed him, ran him back, protected several times, and then finally last out got buried inside a bit. So I think 8 to 1, we're going to get a decent price here.
I would agree with you. We've got Andrew sitting with the 10 here. We've got Michael Collins sitting with the 7. Those are the 2 in first and second right now, separated by $8. The 7's at 6 to 1, so probably needs to win the race there. We've got Brett, who has the 4, is sitting at 9 to 1, probably needs to get the W as well to get the job done. So those are the keys, and the 4 absolutely bursts out of the gate, goes right to the front. So Rock Herd's going to be your leader here at 8 to 1.
That was a mess of a break. Like 3 horses in the middle, like backed out, and the 4 was gone in a flash. You talked about the 7 as the 7 just like completely shit out of the gate.
7's starting to make a little bit of a move, but he is about $1 million back there. The 4 is going to try and wire the field. The 5 I thought made a ton of sense, sitting in second at 7 to 5 right now. The 10 horse actually sitting a pretty good trip here, saving ground on the rail. That's been a good trip over this turf course so far at Belmont. See if he's able to get it done. 23 and 4 for the opening quarter here. Not that fast considering what they normally go over the Belmont Park turf.
46.5 for the half. Come on, 4.
5. Look at the 5.
5 looks good. Come on, 4. Stay with him, 4. Stay with him, 4. Come on.
And the 7 is rolling here too.
Don't quit. Shit. The 4 just completely stopped all of a sudden there. Yeah.
The 7 is not going to get it done. We're going to have to wait to see the place prices for this to go official here. Man, that 7 completely missed the break. That's a horse you want to take a look at moving forward here. I don't remember. Well, I got it right here, don't I? That was the first-time starter.
Yep.
Ms. Tertonic for Joe Sharp, who's 9% first time out. So I would expect that 7's going to take a step forward. However, probably going to get hammered second out just because of that's the most commonly overbet trip there, coming off of missing the break and rushing up as a maiden. But gets home second at 6 to 1. We'll have to wait to see what the prices come in from Keeneland and then the place prices here. Yeah, Brett needed a win there. So it looks like Brett's going to end up finishing 3rd. And Andrew, Michael needs $8. So maybe you could get it. No,
close. Probably not.
Now with a 7 to 5 winner.
Man, that 6 was absolutely loaded too. So we'll have to wait for the official numbers here. It looks like Andrew is going to win the tournament and the $150 site credit as well. Heck of a job, Andrew, there. That 9 horse big for you in the second to last race there at Keeneland. Man, I wish that.
Is this going to put Todd into 3rd? Yeah,
Todd should.
Yeah, Todd's been at the top. I like 1st, 2nd, 3rd all day. And when we got about 3-4 races to go, I was like, I'd like to see him make it through, at least at the top 3 here.
You don't root for me when I do that in these tournaments. You wish nothing but for me to lose. So that's not nice.
I'm not rooting for any of us other than myself to win. This is for the fans. This isn't for us.
Chris with a definitely on point here. Naira decided to not go 40K state bred claimers going 6 furlongs on the turf. Oh, wait. Every day, that's the last race. Well, to be fair to Naira, it's because it fills. They've got a bunch of horses that fit that condition. And so we get these fields, which are good fields at the end of the day anyway. Man. Oh, God. I wanted that 4 to win. Oh, well. What can you do?
Yeah.
Get mad.
It's been multiple times the horse that I had in this tournament today, when they got past and the jockey didn't think they were winning, literally just said, nope, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
This horse is in on E. Sorry, Bree.
Listen, yeah, he's a jerk. He's like, oh, Todd. You don't even know who Todd is.
Yeah, but Todd Bree, listen, you weren't at the top all day long like Todd was.
Well, technically, Bree, he is rooting for you in this spot because he was saying go 4, and you needed the 4 to win. So even though he was rooting for himself, it was also for you in there.
It's true. It's true.
All right.
All right. What do we got? Let's wrap things up here. Oh, no, we still don't have the prices, do we? Sorry.
Yeah, we have the prices.
I saw it go official and just assumed we were good.
So I think, let's talk a little bit about this weekend, kind of what's coming up. I don't think we have anything live planned for this weekend. It's going to be a little bit slow. Magic has a big birthday party. Congratulations, Colston, on turning 1. That's awesome, man. So it's going to be a little slower weekend from a live perspective, but we'll coming back at you on Monday. We're going to cover the Kentucky Derby draw. We're going to be live for when that goes down, so that could be a long one because they really take their sweet time when they are drawing that Derby field. But we'll come on live there, talk about the specific the Derby draw, talk a little bit of Oaks. We'll be back live Tuesday and Wednesday as well at the 1 p.m. Central Time, so you can check us out there talking everything Derby and Oaks leading up to the weekend. Thursday, I will be driving to Kentucky, and Aaron and Jared will be at the track. So we'll have a live blinkers off that night. Magic, you'll have to join us. We'll do a little roundtable action covering the Friday Oaks card. And then Friday night, we'll be back talking everything Derby for Saturday. So you'll be sick of us by the time we get done with Derby week here. Then as far as Derby Day and Oaks Day, Magic, you want to talk about the live schedule for those two?
I'll be live. I have no idea who's going to be with me, but we'll be live for those days covering. Yeah, just doing any kind of, if you've ever joined us for the live streams before, it's a lot of fun. We just sit here and kind of like what we did with the tournament, except it's all horses that you know and are probably familiar with. So Kelly's got that going for it. There it is, the refresh. Andrew officially the winner. Michael second. Todd, my boy, you made it. You hit top 3. Good job.
$6.80 when you're chasing, what is it? 8.10. That's rough. Welcome to tournaments. It's all about the $1.30 more somewhere along the way, and would have been able to get the job done. It's crazy how it kind of comes down to those place prices time and time again.
You want to scroll down a little bit there, Mike? I think we're missing some names there at the bottom. I'd like to just make sure we give everybody a fair. David Feldman went from, like, Mike, you went from first to last from week 1 to week 2. Dave said, hold my beer. Yeah. Dave said, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go for zeros. So that's what he did.
This is how volatile tournaments can be, and this is one of the reasons why you should not be discouraged if you finish last. I mean, the key is either win the thing or it doesn't matter, right? Because outside of third, you're not getting any money back anyway. Dr. Tang, an accomplished tournament player, sitting down there at the bottom of the leaderboard as well. Jared's down there. He was up top or close to it last week. And then Mindy Gunn, our first week winner, sitting down there as well. So it's one of those things where just win it once and it pays for the next 10 of them. So don't really worry about it if you're not able to finish that high up later. So it's one of those things where tournaments kind of come and go, and you got to be really willing to lose to be able to win.
Yeah. 16th, that's about where I thought I would finish. Yeah, that's good. Manu, you didn't smoke me, man. You stayed 10 cents behind me the entire stretch of the way there. Jared didn't show up. He didn't want to bother. Dr. Tang, thank you for submitting your picks. He got on the board for getting the second place finisher to Warlike Goddess. I recognize that 220 payout.
He's struggled on our tournaments, I've noticed. He's on
his way to San Diego right now, so I think he had more things on his mind today than
I think he's just intimidated.
That's probably it.
Aaron, were you aiming for Thursday, Thurby? Is that when the guide's going to be out?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked, Jason. We're getting some emails already. And, obviously it's not out right now because we don't know the fields for anything. Here's the goal. We're telling people Thursday, but in reality, Jared and I leave for Churchill Downs on Wednesday afternoon, and we probably will not leave until that guide is released. So probably Wednesday, early to late afternoon is when that guide will be out. we'll know the fields Monday. We'll work all night on it on Monday. We'll work again on it on Tuesday, finish it up on Wednesday. So Wednesday afternoon, most likely, if something happens like a horse scratches that's really important, or we get some news, it may bleed into Thursday. But our goal is we're not leaving Missouri for Kentucky until that thing's out. So Wednesday afternoon is the most likely answer.
Coming up this weekend on the website, as Mike mentioned, it's going to be slow in terms of the racing going on. So if you want to play Golden Gate, this is the biggest weekend of the year, Gold Rush weekend. Mike and I had Matt Dinnerman, the track announcer, on the Magic Mike show. So you can check that out. We previewed it. If you've never played Golden Gate, if you've been interested in playing it, the first 10 minutes, Matt Dinnerman just tells you what his angles are, for his favorite angles for playing Golden Gate. It's very insightful. So if you want to give Golden Gate a shot, either this weekend or in the future, go take a listen to the Magic Mike show. I also clipped it out. It's on its own on the YouTube channel and youtube.com/racingdudes. And this weekend we have a bunch of videos coming out for you. We have in-depth analysis of Epicenter, White Abarro, and Zandon's replays leading up to Kentucky Derby Trail. Each of the three guys here on the screen took one of those horses. I'll let you guess who got which horses. But we took a look at their replays, talked about what got them here, what we like about them, and their chances for the Derby. We also have the Bachelor Stakes on Saturday at Oakland Park. We have a preview for that at youtube.com/racingdudes, as well as the Sunday feature. And then Mike Somich has his stable him up. The number 2 is about a horse that was at Laurel Park on April 28th, yesterday on Thursday. So it's a little bit of an odd one, but Mike, you nailed it with Patna the first time. So I'm not going to knock you for going to Laurel for this one. If you like it, you like it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one too. I actually pulled up the forum and talked about why I picked the horse in tournaments. It was 15-1 at Laurel on Thursday, and got a brutal trip, but was getting back to what it was good at. So it made sense from that perspective. So I went over how I got to the long shot, and then also why I'm stabling the horse up. One of the things with a horse like Patna, I mentioned it even with the 7 horse there. Patna, first time out, bad trip, is one of those horses that often gets bet. It rarely gets overlooked from a bet back perspective. $25,000 non-winners of one at Laurel Park going a mile on the turf will get overlooked. I mean, that's one place where you can get a more of a price horse. So I thought it was important to stable it up and also show hey, why I had that horse in the tournament and kind of how I got to the horse as a long shot as well. So hopefully that helps some people out from a handicapping perspective, as well as a horse that you can stable up. And if we get the right conditions, which is something I focused on, play that horse back at Laurel next time.
Follow us on Twitter at race_dudes, at Somobomb18, number 8. I'm at Curtis Kalleward. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back again in 2 weeks. If you had fun, please join us then. If you weren't part of it this time, we'd love to have you. Head over to racenews.com, become a premium subscriber to any of our products, and you will be invited to this. So, gentlemen, it was a fun time as always. Didn't work out like we wanted to. None of us won this time, but we'll be back next time to try and do it.
And congratulations, Andrew.
Yes. Congratulations, Andrew. Take care, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks, and enjoy yourselves.